Are you hitting go?
I've already hit go. We're live, Abby. What?
Hello, my name is Doug. Doug's not here today. So
Oh my gosh.
I didn't have a giant Doug head. I really wanted like a Doug on a stick or something that I could hold up so Doug could be here in spirit. But the best I had was this giant baby head. And I didn't know would that I almost put this like right here just so people would know who I was supposed to be.
Hello, my name is Doug. Oh, wait. Stand. Hold
Huh?
still.
Hold
Put it back
still?
on. Hold still.
Okay. Did you
Just grabbing a
grab
screen
it?
capture so we can send to Doug. Okay. Oh, that's
Hello, everyone.
hilarious.
Doug is not here today, as
How
you'll
are you today,
notice.
Abby?
I'm good. How are you today?
I am wonderful. If I were any better, I would be Doug,
Oh,
I guess.
well, Doug's out having lunch with his dad.
Yeah, today's his birthday, or at least they're celebrating his birthday. I don't know if today is actually Doug's dad's birthday. That really doesn't matter. But
We're not questioning. We're just
yeah,
going with it.
happy birthday, Papa Lansborough. Yeah. Hello, David. Hi, Rosalinda. B, Shelly, David, B again. Electrical Tictress. I love that handle. Ginger, B again.
You know what? I
David
always
again.
have to laugh though when I see B because I told you guys I used to have the naked
Elena.
macaw, right? That
Yeah.
could talk. And anytime anyone came in the room, it would say, "Hi, B." Just like that. Hi, B. So like that's what's in my head every time I see B's name in the chat.
And one
Because
of your daughters is
my
named B.
daughter is B, and B was the macaw's person. So
How about that?
everybody was B according to Sweet Pea.
That's
So
funny. That's funny.
yeah.
Well, I hope you all are having a great day today and ready to get some words in. I am going to start writing. I was telling Abby, I've already done some pre-writing. I've got a very, very messy outline ish. It looks like the rantings of a madman as I've just kind of taken notes of things that I have kind of thought through and need to include. And today I'm going to start trying to take that and put it into story form for what will eventually become Pixels and Paladins, my short story for our 80s anthology that we're working on. So I'm super excited. What are
Yeah.
you working on today, Abby?
I'm going to work on my short story because
Awesome.
I have a young editor who is waiting on me to turn it in. So I have
So
like
are
a double deadline.
do you want to share any about that? It was an interesting situation that came up yesterday. I'm excited for
Yes.
you.
I had a little chat with Jacob's daughter who would like to be an editor. And I said,
Fun.
well, then I think I need to hire you to edit my short story. I think that is a really great foot in the door.
Jacob,
So
the inventor of Dabble and our fearless leader here at
that's right.
Dabble
And
Writer.
his daughter is going to follow in the writerly footsteps. So
Fun.
I told her I was going to give her a list of questions I wanted her to answer. But the biggest one being, does it sound like an adult wrote any of this? Because if it does, I'm going to red pen it.
Because you're writing middle grade story for the
Middle
anthology,
grade.
right?
That's
And
right.
for just a really quick, what defines middle grade? Is it literally the middle grades? Like, is it
It's
sixth and
most of the
seventh grade? Is
time.
that what's considered?
So readers are generally between the ages of 8 and 12, but
Okay,
reading comprehension and reading skills varies widely. Most of the
right.
time kids tend to read up, meaning they want to read about protagonists who are older than they are. They don't want to read
Okay,
about protagonists younger than they are because in their brains they've already lived that. They know that, they understand that. They're looking to experience something that's coming.
okay,
And so generally you've got an 11, 12-year-old protagonist kind of at the higher end of things. If your
okay.
protagonist is much younger, you're generally then sort of aimed at, 8-year-old readers, and you have to make your work sound and be the correct reading level for an 8-year-old. So middle grade is a tricky beast because there's a lot of extra considerations that you don't have to think about when you're writing for adults.
True. A question that I'll ask you in our next break.
Yeah.
The way adults tend to read young adult, and there's a lot of series read by a lot? Are there older people that read middle grade? We can talk about that at the next break.
I read it.
Good writing, folks.
Bye.
Man, I was just hitting a stride.
Me too.
Oh, let me copy. Everybody, be sure copy your words out. I'm gonna copy my words and post them into sprint number 2. And then I'm going to copy the link for sprint number 2, and I'm going to put it in the chat for anyone who needs it. I'll post it again right before it starts. Just now, then I'll move that one. So I was asking you, right? But by the way, how did everybody do? I got 658 words. It's
That's good.
decent, but I had a couple of times I had to stop and think about some things, and having a bit of a dyslexic day that happens from time to time. So
I like the way you rationalize away why you only got 600 words, whereas I'm here like, hey, I got 300. I feel good.
hey,
Hey,
anything above 0 is a great day.
I am going to brag on my child because
Yeah.
somebody posted in the Storycraft Cafe, I believe it was Journey,
Okay.
some kind of challenge about can you write 1,000-word story and never use a word that includes the first letter of your last name, right? So ours is M.
Ooh.
So my kid thought about that for days. And last night she sat on the sofa with her laptop and
Okay.
she started writing and she got 1,000 words. And I did the search and find for the letter M. Not a single word in that 1,000 words included an M.
That's wild, actually.
I know.
That's crazy.
I mean, she was like, the story's not that great, Mom. And I was like, but holy crap, you never used the letter M.
Yeah, that's intense. Seriously. I've never tried that. That's my last name starts with a G, and that's
So
that's
you
a
can't
that's a
use anything that ended with ing.
I know. That's wow.
I mean,
Boy,
don't sidetrack yourself on
I
that
know. That's
quest.
so now I'm gonna be
But
thinking about that all during our second sprint now. Anyway,
every time you
so
type a G.
right before we started, I was
Mhm.
asking you in the same way that a lot of YA books get read by adults, and the first thing I'm thinking about Harry Potter, which
Mhm.
arguably started as a middle grade book,
Harry
and
Potter is, yeah, one of the few that started as an MG and it
right,
moved into YA as the main character progressed into that sphere. So
and I
it
would
was
argue as his reading audience
mhm,
progressed as well, his
mhm.
audience grew up with him,
Yep.
which is a feat.
Wild.
Yeah, wild.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times that's ever happened. But then you got things like the Hunger Games, I think is
YA.
YA.
Mhm.
Um, I'm there's a million others I just can't grab the name of, but
Yeah.
have a lot of adult readers for that. Does middle
Yeah.
grade? Do you have older readers that read middle grade as
So
well?
I read it, but I read it many times for more informational purposes. But I mean,
Yeah,
I'd argue, story is story. And
yeah,
you can have a really solid middle grade book that captures an adult's attention for sure.
yeah.
But I would say most of the adults that read MG are probably reading them out loud to their kids. Like I would
Okay.
sort of hazard to guess that most people that pick up an MG book, that's what it is. But you are right in that YA serves multiple audiences.
Okay,
So,
so here's a thought that I just had.
mhm,
Because we have 5 kids and now a whole bunch of grandkids. We watch a lot of Pixar movies
mhm.
and different things like that. And one thing that you'll kind of notice is that there is a story for the little ones, and
End
it is
story.
completely for them. But if you're an adult, you pick up on a lot of stuff that just goes right over
They do
the.
that on purpose.
Of
So
course they do. Of
Jeff
course
has
they do,
talked
because they know people like me are
about,
going to spend 100 hours watching these
his
movies.
parents are reading them. So the book that I'm querying right now, every character in it has an equivalent character in the Dukes of Hazzard, and the kids will not pick up on that, but the adults 100% will.
That is
So
hilarious, and
that's my Easter egg.
I can't wait to see it. All right, guys, see you in 20 minutes. Oh,
Bye.
let me post the link one more time for anybody that's just seeing it. See you guys in 20. Oh man. Every time I hit my stride and beep beep. Man.
I want to know how many G's you wrote.
Too many. On the screen right now. There's one, two, three. Yeah, this is
Which I
ridiculous.
wonder which letter would be the hardest. That's what
Oh man,
I mean, I feel like they all are. Like a
I know
vowel would be really hard.
it's so wild. It's so wild. Let me copy your words out. Put them in the next sprint before we get started. That way, it doesn't count toward your word count. I got what I get that time 618.
I
Not
got
bad.
another 300. So
Hey,
I
consistent.
caught up to you in your first sprint.
Oh, Shelly with 464. B. Oh man, B's having
152.
internet trouble. It's 119. That's
Yo
okay.
yo.
Ashley with
Yeah.
470. Iva 590. Rosalinda 401. Elena 327. Electrical Tictress. It makes me grin every time I read it. 200 words. Finally finished that ultimatum scene. Congratulations. All right. An interesting thing happened to me that time, Abby.
What was it?
I've been writing with my tent poles, like we
Mhm.
talked about. I know where my story is ultimately going. I know the final emotional impact that is set in stone. I knew that from the beginning. My beginning echoed that
Mhm.
ending. The ending will then echo back to the beginning, giving us that satisfying, hopefully
Clue. Yeah.
full circle feeling, that a great short story does. But I thought all along that the wizard that comes out of the video game
Mhm.
um, would manifest on his own, um, and our protagonist would discover it, and Kevin would like come in, and oh, he comes out at night. And I realized as I was writing that all of that was wrong. That
Okay.
that the wizard comes out because Kevin summoned him. That he
Oh.
unlocked a secret level to the game that brings him
Which
out.
is better because it gives Kevin more
Yes.
agency anyway.
Gives
So
him more agency. Exactly. And this is a thing that happens, and I think we need to talk about this in next week's show. And that's one reason that I like to write short stories with a looser outline.
mhm.
Um, that does not change my ending at all. It does not
No.
change the emotional impact. It does not change the echo of the beginning to the end and the end back to the beginning. It doesn't change any of that, but it does make our, like you said, it gives our protagonist more agency, and it kind of changes the story because it gives
Mhm.
me the opportunity to put Kevin, um what Hank doesn't know how to do. What does Hank not
It's
know how
a
to do?
secret that only Doug and I possess. Knowing how to link one sprint to the next. I know how to do it because
What,
Doug told me.
what
Hank doesn't pay attention when we talk.
I guess not. What am I missing? What happened?
Dink. Doug and I link
Yeah.
each sprint to the next. So in the description of the sprint, we say click here to join the next sprint, and then we highlight it and we hyperlink it.
Yeah, I should do that. That's my bad. Yeah. Oops. Sorry about that.
I was
Let's
just
see.
going to put it in there for everybody.
Okay.
Sorry, we derailed you. I
Yeah, I was just saying that this happens kind of as you think with your fingers, so to
Yeah.
speak. And
Oh, think with your
and that
fingers.
yeah, and I think there's something when you hit that flow state and you kind of turn off your analytical brain. Like I still have my tent
Mhm.
poles. My story is not derailed in any way,
Mine
but some
totally is.
but something happened that I didn't expect,
You
and
worked it in.
I
You made it
worked it
happen.
in.
Whereas I just took my tent pole that I just came up to and I just like kicked it out from under the tent, and that whole part of the tent collapsed. And I thought, I'm just going to swim through it anyway. That's what I'm doing
Love it.
right now.
Love it. All right, guys, final 20-minute sprint. I just posted the link again, and I think Abby posted it right before I did. So you don't, no excuse for not having a link. See you guys in 20.
I'm going to let you count that last word.
Thank you. You saw I was in the middle of
Okay.
a thought and I had to finish it.
I'm going to let you count
Let me pause Bob Dylan.
it.
I've got a 70s and 80s playlist that I've been writing to just kind of set me in that mood. And Tangled Up in Blue was playing. Yeah,
I love Tangled Up in Blue.
yeah, yeah.
I like the Indigo Girls version though, not to because I love the Indigo Girls.
I do too. Every time I listen to them, I feel like it's the closer I am to find. Who knows?
That's right.
That's a little Gen X throwback for
That
you
was
folks right
good. That was
there.
really good.
Yeah.
Definitely
I got
caught it.
560 words that time.
Nice.
I'm not mad about my word count today. It's a little lower than, but I feel like I'm doing good work today. Like I discovered something in the writing, which, people don't talk about. We talk
Yeah.
about, planning out our work and laying out our plan ahead of time and knowing what you're going to write. But that
But
doesn't mean that there can't be discovery
right.
every day,
See,
even if you have a plan.
that's the piece I think nobody's talking about is
Yeah.
what do you do when you have this solid plan? And then
Yeah.
as you're writing yourself along, you've got all these pieces that you're thinking about in your brain, but something new comes in that sort of changes it. Like, what do you do? So, what do you do, Hank? Do you stop and adjust your outline so that probably not for a short story.
Yeah. Well, typically what and and by the way, copy your words out because they don't
Mhm.
stay in wordsprints.org for longer than 24 hours. Copy them out into your Dabble project, into your Word doc, whatever you're writing in, so that your words are safe. Um, you know, uh like in this instance, this was a discovery I made that's not going to change the overall plan of the story. It's not going to change any of my tent poles, but
Mhm.
it does change how my character reacts, behaves, and things. So there's not
Nothing
anything
to
necessarily to change. But if this were like a novel where this would have some fallout effect later in the
Mhm.
book, I think I would go ahead and finish what I'm working on then. Um, and make a note of it, like make an addendum to my plan, to my outline. This is what was supposed to happen, but we took this detour.
Mhm.
And then when I came to my next day's writing, I would see, did the change that happened yesterday, is that going to affect today? Or can I work this into the roadmap that's already there? Is this just a side road that I took that's ultimately gonna take me to the same place, or is this going to affect the ultimate destination? And I think
Mhm.
those are the questions I just have to kind of address that as I move through the outline.
Mhm.
I'm not going to sit down and just completely rework the outline because of what I discovered, but I will take new discoveries into account for
As
each of
you,
the
yeah.
going forward. I think that's how I would approach it.
I think I got to totally rework mine because my
Yeah,
girlfriend told me I
yeah.
wasn't I wasn't making it hard enough on everybody. I
Mm.
was like, "Oh, I think she's right. She's really smart." So,
Well, so you're writing your story. Are you discovering anything in the
uh
writing?
I've discovered more about, let's see, I'm 4,000 words in.
Okay.
So I'm at the midway point,
Okay.
of the story.
Yeah.
And I discovered that the antagonist, originally I didn't really have so much of an antagonist. I had a cursed item, and
Yeah.
the keeper of the cursed item was going to befriend the main character. And then all of that went out the window. And I was like, no, no, no. I need a true antagonist, but I also need a happy ending. And I need to make everything harder on the characters. So I'm like in a way, probably not so good place, but that's okay.
But that's okay. that's okay. It's all
Ah,
well, today's Thursday, so that's our last,
yeah.
writing sprint for this week, at least official writing sprints. Anyone can go to wordsprints.org and, start your own word sprint, and if you do, be sure to post a link to it over in the Storycraft Cafe.
Yeah.
You never know who
Rosalinda
else
does
is
hers.
Rosalinda is amazing at doing that. Share it. You never know. I'm looking for sprints sometimes to join in. It's fun to do that. So tomorrow, Abby, before we go, you have an event coming up. What's going on tomorrow?
Okay, so tomorrow Elisa and I are talking about pitching small presses. So small presses are ones that are traditional publishers that you can sometimes pitch unagented. So
Okay.
that's what we're going to be talking about tomorrow. So we've got it all put together, and I have if you want to pre-game the workshop, I did a big thread yesterday in the community. And if you have your own list going, or if you find a small press that you want to share with everybody else, I have the list sort of threaded. The post is threaded by genre. And I've got, I think, like 60 different comments that I've made in there, just with different
Fun.
presses that people can research. You got to research all of them.
Oh yeah.
I haven't necessarily researched all of them, but when I find them and I see, like, okay, this is mystery. Okay, this is what I'm trying to put them in. So, and I found a bunch of short story ones, Hank. And I
Nice.
even found a couple of calls for anthologies. And so I just put 2 of those this morning in the community. So if anybody is looking for an anthology, there's some opportunities there. So
And this is where the Storycraft Cafe really shines. Not only is it a place for everyone to, talk about what you're working on and to get motivation and encouragement, which it 100% is, and I love it for that. But it's also a great resource because I know you are constantly doing this, Abby, and there are other users that when they discover something, they put in there. And if I'm ever looking to answer a question, like this, like who's a great small press, the first thing I'll do is go search the Storycraft Cafe to see if this conversation has come up, and it's a great resource for stuff like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
So at what time is that going to be tomorrow?
at noon, tomorrow, noon Eastern time.
Noon Eastern time.
So, yep, come join
All right.
us. All
Okay.
right.
Well, we'll see you all, guys. Oh! Before we go,
Yes.
the thing that you dreamed up yesterday.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. So after we did our short story
Yeah.
class or workshop yesterday,
Yeah.
and we talked about mine, yours, Hank, Doug's openings, 3 different opening lines,
Yep.
we thought we would do a bonus show on Monday or
Tuesday.
Tuesday,
Yeah.
where anybody who wants us to talk about their openings and say nice things about them, post your openings and we'll tell you which one we like the best and why. So,
It's going to be so much fun. So there's plenty of
yep.
time to get your submissions in. Just it's a thread in the Storycraft Cafe. Just go look for Abby and look for it was
Yeah, I think
posted
I
yesterday,
pinned the
Thursday.
post. I
Yeah,
pinned the post, so you should see it at the
perfect.
top. So,
Perfect. All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. Abby,
all
thanks
right.
for co-hosting with me as
Oh,
always.
wait, you mean
Yep.
Doug?
And of course, we can't forget Doug. Hello, my name is Doug.
Doug.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.